Previously on WFX Overload.
Got this Team Elgin thing working out. How's that working out for you, by the way? Is that going good for you? Or?
Gentleman handed the microphone off.
The funny thing is, Kip, the Team Elgin's working pretty...
Oh, he suckered him. Out of nowhere, and Charlie Haas helping out.
Finally.
Wait a minute.
What's he got to do?
That's a workout bar, Mike.
Wow.
What are you doing? Putting all your hopes, your dreams, everything you've worked hard to get to where you are right now, you're gonna invest that in a Kip? He's a has-been.
What is going on here? Oh!
Oh my, he tapped right away. Ow!
That is
He's
called...
tapping, Kenny.
That
call
is
for
called...
the bell.
He is called for
yeah,
the bell.
But the Lush couldn't tell.
No,
All
come
you
on.
could see was Wavell tapping it, and the Lush couldn't see it.
This isn't why I signed up. This isn't why you brought me in. Hey, I got power of attorney over Eugene's money. That you do. One phone call, we got the best lawyers there are. We can own WFX Wrestling. You tell your friend Eugene there's not gonna be a rematch, and that's it.
Fairplay with a statement.
And the feedback from him dropping the mic right in my ear is not very appreciated, I'll tell you that.
Welcome everyone to WFX Overload.
Dave Thomas, we're starting with the WFX One World Tag Team Tournament. We already know Chevy and Sanchez are going to the final. Will they take on Cannon and Corbin, or will they take on Mentallo and Christopher Daniels? Christopher Daniels, his second match in WFX. And wow, this match has a lot on the line.
Well, you know, Christopher Daniels and Mentallo they were victorious in their first bout as a newly formed tag team, and now they're going up against one of your favorite tag teams, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I love Darin Corbin and Arik Canning because they like to pull some good practical jokes. The WFX tag team division is amazing. You talk about the Davaris, who Daniels and Mentallo beat in the first round. Midwest ground in there. Chevy and Sanchez are undefeated. And Christopher Daniels and Mentallo, that's pretty impressive. That's a pretty deep talent roster of tag teams.
Well, for a new tag team that's been put together, I don't want to say on the fly, these guys are impressive.
And you know what? To learn more about Chris Daniels and Mentallo, we sent Crystal Scarlett backstage earlier, and she got these pre-recorded comments.
I'm being joined now by Mentallo and Christopher Daniels, the Fallen Angel. Your match is next. What's going through your mind?
What's going through my mind, Crystal? Well, isn't it obvious? Can't you feel it? Can't you smell it? Can't you taste it? It's the electricity. Mentallo and the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, tagged together for the first time, and the Davaris beaten in short order. And now, second round, WFX Tag Team Tournament. Corbin and Cannon. Gentlemen, I respect you greatly, but if you think for 1 second that I have any doubt about our abilities, about our chances to be the first WFX Tag Team Champions, you gentlemen are sorely mistaken. Because the Fallen Angel and Mentallo, we're going to walk into that ring, and we're going to walk out of that ring triumphant. And when it's all said and done, Crystal, you're going to be looking at the new and the first WFX Tag Team Champions. See you then.
Well, before that can happen, they have to beat this tag team of Cannon and Corbin, and then they've got to beat Chevy and Sanchez. No easy feat for the Cinderella Story tag team that were put together right before the first round.
Well, Cannon and Corbin themselves, very impressive, Mike. You know, they beat some pretty big names here in WFX. Plus, you know, you've got the team. You've got Christopher Daniels. How did WFX management sign this guy? He's only been a free agent for like a week.
Well, and you know, he's one of the most technically gifted guys in the world, and he can fly, he can do it all. But wow, you see Corbin has the upper hand there because Corbin isn't no slouch himself.
No, it was a big belly-to-back suplex. I think he might have caught Daniels a little bit off guard, but nonetheless, you can see the respect factor there too.
Well, Daniels did say in his pre-recorded comments with our very own broadcast colleague, Crystal Scarlett, that he has respect for these guys, and he should. Because these guys, they're practical jokers. And what they did to Bushwhacker Luke and what we've seen them do in previous episodes has been amazing. They between what they can do in the ring and what they're willing to do to get a psychological edge, if you will, it's out of this world.
Well, I'm not really a big fan of the rib they pulled on Bushwhacker Luke, and we've talked about that, man, over the weeks, and, you know, the memorial service and all that stuff, you know, really not very classy move, you know? I mean,
I thought it was, you know, well done, and you know what? I've often talked about that, you know, I'd like to produce a great memorial service, and like Eric Cannon said, it was one of the top 3 he'd ever been to, and he probably was right. Larry Zabisco was there, guest of honor. Nikolai Volkov was there.
Yeah, that's another story in itself. Best memorial service ever. And a big right hand on the floor. And the team of Cannon and Corbin, a bit of the upper hand. You're taking it to Mentallo, especially with a shot like that.
Mentallo and Christopher Daniels both have extensive experience in Japan, where Mentallo wrestles for Tajiri's promotion Smash. And of course, Daniels is a standout in New Japan. And Cannon and Corbin would love to go to Japan as a tag team, obviously.
Big flying cross body over the top rope there. And it seems as though the tide is turning back and forth. But Daniels now through the second and third rope and landing on his feet while taking out both Cannon and Corbin.
And the people are strongly behind Chris Daniels, and I would say obviously. Small little quirky fact about Darin Corbin, he's never said a word in WFX.
No, I don't think so.
Never even said ow.
Off the top with a crossbody, it gets only a 2 count. And as a matter of fact, I had a chance to attempt a vicious double chop. I had a chance to attempt to talk to Corbin backstage.
Talking after that.
Well, he didn't say much. As a matter of fact, he didn't say anything. Great double team maneuver breaking before the 5 count are Mentallo and Daniels, and there's a drop kick to the chest area. Now, very ingenious maneuvers that both Mentallo and Daniels have got in their arsenal, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say that. But let me say what I want to say.
Sure.
You know, I think that these 4 individuals in the ring right now have the potential. Look at that tag. They're the most exciting guys in all of WFX.
Well, that was a little bit uncalled for, but there's a clothesline for good measure. Back elbow to Daniels. Savate kick, if you will. And a second. Whoa! Gonna straighten some teeth or loosen some, I'm not sure.
I don't think in all of Chris Daniels' world travels, I don't think he's had a guy kick him in the face so hard.
And now he's got a nice submission. Now, you're the color guy, Mike. What kind of submission hold is this?
A painful one.
Apparently. But Daniels not tapping out.
Is that what you were looking for, Dave Thomas, in terms of an answer?
Just the drop-ins you do, Mike. They're great. I really enjoy them.
It's all timing.
Wow. Mentallo laying in a kick to the back, and, you know, I think he probably had to do that to save his partner from submitting. Bit of a jawbreaker. And an enziguri.
Cannon and Corbin got to the 2nd round by defeating who? Do you remember?
Well,
Team Elgin. That's who they defeated. And Daniels and Mentallo defeated the Davaris, who are a very talented bunch.
Well, both tag teams you mentioned are impressive. Exactly. This is no easy task. This is one of the greatest tag team tournaments in the history of pro wrestling.
Since the Crockett Cup, honestly.
The who?
The Crockett Cup.
Okay, well.
Don't ask me which year was the best.
Mentallo is so crisp.
Kicks in the face.
You know, Mentallo is so crisp with those kicks into a suplex. Look at that.
You know, I've been critical of that pinning combination several times in the past because he puts all his weight and leverage into that vertical headstand thing off his head. And all he does is allows the other guy to kick him off because of the balance.
Look at this. Wow.
That's what they call a sliced bread, I think.
Nip up and short-lived with a solid right hand. Daniels nailed him. And look at this. Partner saves himself. Finishing maneuver. Oh, he got it. He got all of it.
And that could be all for the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels.
He's going for 1. He's got 2. But Mentallo sneaking out the back door into a side powerbomb.
And that immobilized Eric Cannon.
We've got
Chris Daniels is immobilized, and Mentallo appears to be in pain.
It looks like
Corbin's in pain.
You got it. Looks like a car wreck. We've got carnage because no one's getting up. It's a 4-man disaster, if you will. Man, Daniels is going on instinct there, Mike, and man, these guys are laying into each other harder than I think I've seen anybody lay in each other at all.
Oh, he backdropped him to the floor. Oh!
Lancing kick to the side of the face to a bit of a bookend side slam. This is Daniels' maneuver.
Perfectly done, too, on moonsault. against Cannon and Corbin. No, it'll be against Chevy and Sanchez.
Yeah, you're the color guy. Come on now.
You know, I was taking a back.
You were excited. I know.
Obviously.
Christopher Daniels, very impressive.
2 tag teams are 1 win away from becoming the first ever WFX One World Tag Team Champions. And you know what? There's got to be a lot of mutual respect because both teams put it out there on the line.
You got to give credit to both teams in this match, Mike. You're absolutely right. And there's a good show of sportsmanship, a handshake. You got to love that. Only in WFX.
I absolutely agree. Shane Madison standing by with Nick Starcevic.
With me at this time is Nick Starcevic from Big Brother 8. And Nick, tonight you're going to be the special referee for a big match. And 2 of the guys that are involved in this match, Jonny Fairplay and Mr. PEC-Tacular, you have quite a history with.
Correct. Past is the past. Gonna let bygones be bygones, and I came here to do a job. And
Hey, Nick from Big Brother, man, dude, you're like my favorite. I mean, you know, after Mr. PEC-Tacular and after Chilltown and Eric Landon and Janelle and Chicken, you know, Chicken George was struck by lightning twice. Oh, but Nick, you're great. Love you.
Nick, you know, I wish you were in the house with me. I really do. But then there's the fact that I had 2 seasons and you only had that one.
He was only on 1. But you're great. I mean, look. I know you don't like me, and you know, you kind of had your problems with Jessie. Like,
you messed around with my girlfriend, dude.
Yeah, it's I don't remember, and she
there's lots of them. Yeah. I mean, but look, hey, we're reality, man. We're family. Like this. Like, look. Trust, man. Trust. Reality, right? Yeah, we're good.
remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that. On the same team.
What a douche.
Welcome back, everyone. You know, Mike Davidson, this has been an amazing hour so far, and we've just begun.
I have a question for you. What did you think of Jonny Fairplay's suit?
Jonny Fairplay's suit, let me tell you something. Somewhere in the great state of Florida, probably in Miami, there's a motel room with the bedspread missing.
By Jonny Fairplay.
Or the curtains, I don't know.
225 pounds.
Well, look at it. What is he thinking?
I think it's colorful and stylish.
Much like him, I guess.
I'm a big fan of Jonny Fairplay.
Yeah, you've made mention of that numerous times in the last
I just
few
noticed
episodes.
Jessie Godderz is a little bit nervous for his big match with Eugene Dinsmore here tonight.
Well, I think he should be. You know, Eugene is a well-accomplished, world-traveled
Eugene might
wrestler.
not have all the faculties that you would expect of one to have, but he can sure wrestle.
Well, you know, absolutely. I mean, Eugene is like I say, a very talented individual and has got the experience factor way above his opponent tonight.
Weighing in at 247 pounds, welcome, Eugene.
And you know what? The deck is stacked against Jessie Godderz in this match because the referee is somebody who was also on Big Brother, although granted a different season. Correct. But he doesn't like Jessie Godderz.
No, but as he said in the pre-match interview, he's got to call it down the line. He's here to do a job, and that's what the referee is here for.
Eugene
Dinsmore is such an idiot. He doesn't even know he's supposed to be coming to the ring.
Well, sometimes these things take time. You got to give him a minute, you know. Maybe somebody could go in the back and
Godderz laughing.
Well, maybe
I
somebody
think
could go in
some
the back
fishy
and
might
get
be
him.
going on here. He's up to something.
I totally forgot. I have power of attorney over Eugene's contract.
Well, he does, unfortunately.
I also book all of his flight arrangements.
What?
So Eugene is never, ever, ever coming back to Winnipeg again.
What? I thought we were in San Antonio, and what is he talking about?
You know what?
Sorry. Hey, but it's okay. I found an opponent that's bigger than Eugene for you.
What?
I have an opponent that's stronger than Eugene.
What is he trying to pull here, Mike?
Why would he be putting him in there with a tougher
Bring
guy?
out this no name.
I'm not really sure what's going on. I thought Eugene was in the building.
I'm perplexed by all that.
Well, that's Bobby Fox. Now,
Bobby Fox is, you know, a bit of a slouch, but no slouch at the same time.
Come on,
he's finally put together athletes.
Yeah, but he's a preliminary bouter. He's new in the business. He's just learning his game. I mean, his craft. He's not a Eugene replacement. What exactly is Fairplay trying to pull here?
I'm not sure, but hey.
Well, you know, this would be a real coup in his cap if he could actually pull out a defeat here.
Is Bobby Fox?
Are we going to let this continue? Where is Eugene?
I'm perplexed. I don't know what to say, but Fairplay has rerouted Eugene Dinsmore, so he's not here tonight. And now we got Godderz against suitable competition in the form of Bobby Fox, who comes out here prancing.
Now look, Godderz is maybe not as experienced as Bobby Fox, but that's not saying much. Bobby Fox is very new to the wrestling business. Sure, he's got a handful of matches under his belt, but I think we're looking at a bit of a size difference here.
Bobby Fox kind of looks like John Bon Jovi. That's the only redeeming quality from this guy.
I guess you could say
every
that.
time he lays down, and he does do a lot of that because he loses a lot of matches, it's like laying in a bed of roses.
I think it would be safe to say if you asked Bobby Fox just exactly the number of ring lights there were, he'd know the number to a T.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Now, why is the referee not counting? This is a blatant chokehold using the middle rope.
Well, the ref is new. He doesn't know.
Well, if you're brought in to be a referee, a special referee, at least you figure WFX management
He's there to physically even the score should Jonny Fairplay and Godderz try to double team what was supposed to be Eugene Dinsmore, and instead it's Bobby Fox.
You know, I am perplexed, like you say, Mike. I could have sworn that Eugene was in the building. Are you sure nothing happened to him backstage? Are you sure maybe he's not here?
Fairplay's already said that he got...
Well, something just happened to Bobby Fox in the line of a clothesline with authority.
Took his head off.
Godderz just playing.
If this
with
was
Bobby
a contest
Fox
of tans, I think Bobby Fox would have a shot. But unfortunately, this is a contest of physical prowess, and Bobby Fox hasn't shown much. Beautiful vertical suplex, though.
Technically done and going for the pinfall, a little bit of an arrogant pinfall. Well, he picked him up. I mean, I don't know why he's playing with him, but I guess they want to put on a bit of a show for us, if you will, Mike. And Godderz is obviously trying to impress his manager, Jonny Fairplay.
Does Mr. PEC-Tacular have the best physique in the company?
Well, there's no question. He's very well defined. He's a tremendous athlete. I mean, he's in tremendous physical condition. But this is not a suitable replacement for Eugene.
I think that's why Fairplay picked it.
You think?
Oh my.
Look at the strength here.
For the love of good taste, just put him down and end this.
He's not even breathing hard. He's not even breathing hard. Wow. Now he should just put him out of his misery. I mean,
And you hear there's Fairplay
He's going for a submission hold.
Oh man.
He's got him locked in tight too.
He can't even tap. Oh,
he's tapping.
That's
Bobby
a spectacular way to end this match.
Pardon the pun, of course.
And Starcevic called it right down the middle. He didn't
Your winner.
Oh, there was nothing.
Godderz didn't even break the rules. He didn't have to. That's a case of Fairplay
Your winner.
completely stacking the deck.
Yeah,
Mr. Spectacular.
Fashion. And now
Jessie
Starcevic joins in the celebration.
I guess maybe the match is over and he felt that there was nothing more he could do. I don't know.
You know, for all the latest on WFX and Mr. PEC-Tacular and Jonny Fairplay, Nick Starcevic, check out WFXWrestling.com.
Our next match.
Welcome back, everyone. Here
It's
you
a
are
tag
watching
team match.
WFX Overload. We are seen in over
Introducing
50 million homes, Mike Davidson.
For the combined weight of 512 pounds. Welcome, Charlie Haas and Michael Elgin.
What a formidable tag team we are about to see in WFX Overload. In TV land, in over 50 million households, Michael Elgin and Charlie Haas. And Charlie Haas calls himself the world's greatest wrestler.
Well, I think that he is the guy that can back it up, as I've said before. And obviously, Michael Elgin has formed a new Team Elgin, if you will, because his last Team Elgin was not very successful in the tag team tournament.
Well, you know, I'll say this about Michael Elgin. He is one opportunistic guy to tie on to one of the best wrestlers out there in Charlie Haas. And his girlfriend Madison always with him at ringside. Wow, that was pretty close up and personal, if you will. I now know Addison better than ever. Well, I don't think you should go around telling Michael Elgin.
And their opponents. At a total combined weight of 520 pounds. Welcome, John Cutler and his partner, Kip.
You talk about big tag team matches, and we talked a lot about the depth of the One World Tag Team division, but holy Hannah, Kip and John Cutler. Kip is the undisputed top guy in WFX. He's on a roll in this company.
Well, and his partner is no slouch in John Cutler. And this is going to be a true test of both teams because, like you say, both teams not even in the tag team tournament, and these two teams can enter tomorrow and probably come out on top.
It wasn't that long ago that Kip and Charlie Haas wrestled in a singles match in Charlie Haas's debut in this company, and it was like a 20-minute epic battle, and it was Kip who beat Charlie Haas.
Right, but
this is a chance at revenge.
It is a chance at revenge, but don't forget, how's the knee? How's Kip's knee? Do you not recall during that match that Charlie Haas was working heavily on Kip's knee, and we don't know the status of it?
Well, you know, yeah.
It's heavily braced up, we can see that.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Kip's knee is... Kip is, you know, he's been able to endure a long time. He's a 10-time former World Tag Team Champion.
Well, he's got the endurance factor. I wouldn't put that past him, but I'm just saying, who knows what the deal is? I mean, now, and look at this. Haas doesn't even want to get inside and wrestle.
You do your job.
You just take it easy, okay?
I'm not wrestling to you.
Well, that's fine. You do your thing, okay?
Shut your mouth.
No. Somebody should pull him away from the fans. Anything can happen. He is that intense.
Well, you know, this is wrestling fan experience, but sometimes that might be a little bit too close for comfort.
You keep your head in the game, all right? We can beat them. He's a nobody. He's a nobody. No, listen to me. I'm the captain. You do what I say. When we get our advantage, you snap, crack, and pop any one of his ligaments. He's got a bad shoulder. He's got a bad back. That's what we do. We seek and destroy. You got that? Come on.
Well, obviously,
now, hey,
go ahead.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's what gives Charlie Haas a competitive edge. He knows Kip well enough to know where Kip is injured, where he's hurting, where you're going to take advantage of him.
He's definitely done his homework, Mike, and you know, he didn't mention the knee. Now maybe he's holding that back because maybe that's an area that Charlie Haas wants to work on again. It's very smart. He is the captain of the team. He's sending out Elgin to do some dirty work, but he's giving Elgin the coaching report. He's saying, this is where you got to attack, Mike. These are the spots that he knows of. He's definitely done his homework.
These two guys both have lost to Kip in singles matches, so they both have an element of revenge. They both, see, there's a thing about Kip in WFX where he came here, and remember several weeks back where, you know, they sort of in-depthly went into why he's here and how hungry he is to succeed, and so far he's been a success story in WFX. It's sort of reignited his career.
He's definitely got that fire that he hadn't had for a few years, and he himself, you know, self-admittedly would say he lost that fire, he lost that edge, and now you can see that in his eyes. You can see the intensity. He's back, baby, and he's full bore.
And right now he's helping out John Cutler get to the next level by taking him under his wing in this tag team match. And you notice Kip didn't talk down to John Cutler the same way Charlie Haas talked down to Michael Elgin.
I think there's a different level of respect there, Mike. I think that you know, Kip values Cutler as an up-and-comer, and he's willing to take him under his wing. And I think it shows great promise that he's willing to let him start the match.
Oh!
Wow. You know, this guy is a powerhouse. We've talked about it week after week, Mike. He really is a powerhouse. He's got such force behind everything. He's amazing.
Kelly Russell completely out of position in this match.
Well, I think Kelly Russell was trying to get Kip back into the corner.
Oh!
That was a clothesline combined with a punch into a big body slam, and that's no easy feat.
I didn't see that punch combination you speak of.
Well,
I saw a big clothesline and a big body slam.
I think he clotheslined him with his fist is what I was saying. Cutler able to turn it around on Elgin, I should say, and has the advantage. But I wouldn't count out Elgin just yet. As I said before, this guy is a powerhouse. He's a powerful individual.
Cutler's very, that's the thing about all 4 guys in this match. They might be the 4 most powerful in strength in WFX.
Tag now into Billy Gunn. Shall I say Kip?
There, wow. There's a blast from the past there, Dave Thomas.
Hey, what can I tell you? It's hard to shake the old
You were
news.
the president of that fan club about 10 years ago.
Well, let's not go there.
We can forgive this.
But here's something interesting. Elgin trying to make the tag, and Charlie Haas saying, no, you know what, I'm not ready to tag. You know what? Charlie Haas doesn't want to get back in the ring with Kip. He wants Elgin to soften him up before he comes inside. Now, is that cowardice or what? Oh, classic Kip now with the shots to the face. Elgin feeling the effects.
Did you call Charlie Haas a coward?
I don't recall I said those exact words. I said cowardice maneuver maybe, or famouser already? Whoa! That's a no right out to Charlie Haas.
Ooh! Now I bet you Haas will tag in now.
Well, sure, he's got Kip, reeling, if you will, from that impressive maneuver. What would you call that, a half electric chair?
Yeah, okay. That's exactly what I'd call it.
And look at that, you're right.
I'd call it a variation of the electric chair.
There you go. Haas now, maybe he's a little sorry he tagged in.
Oh,
man, Kip is impressive with those right hands. Sidestepping into a neck breaker. Going for the pin. And the crowd
this is
will
not Charlie Haas's best showing. He's been on the apron waiting for a tag, gets his tag, comes in and immediately gives the advantage back to Kip.
Well, a little smart there as he hung on and takes a bit of a breather. Maybe he decides it's time to get outside the ring and regroup, Mike. But I'll tell you, with a crowd this noisy, how do you regroup? How can you take the mind? How can you get out of that noise level and try to get a regrouping thought in there? You can't. Kip making chase on Charlie Haas.
I wonder where Michael Elgin might be.
And Madison just standing in the corner, almost as if to say, yeah, I knew that was coming.
She's just supporting her man. She stands by her man at all costs.
Elgin, just as he would probably say, helping Kip back into the ring. Haas using the ropes for advantage and has a 5 count to break, and he does.
So that makes it okay.
Not saying
because
it's
of the
okay.
5-second grace rule, you can break the rules.
Hey, Mike, normally you're the guy that appreciates that kind of double teaming, appreciates the bending of the rules, appreciates taking every little extra you can.
Condoned the behavior.
All I was saying is that if he didn't break before the 5, Kelly Russell would have disqualified him. Cutler showing his support on the apron. And now this is classic tag team wrestling, and we've seen this so many times, Mike. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about that I know you condone. Double teaming behind the referee's back. This happens, and you're a big fan of it. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah. I think this has been picture-perfect execution by the team with 2 beards, Michael Elgin and Charlie Haas.
The team with 2 beards.
Yeah, they both have beards.
I realize that. Just a very unique way of... well, anyway.
Well, what should they be called? The bearded tag team.
How about Haas and Elgin?
Okay.
Kip now with it. Oh, look at that. There goes the knee, just like we talked about before the match.
Yes, he's in trouble now.
Well, Charlie Haas tried an amateur takedown, and Kip, his knee gave way. Oh, and Elgin now working on the lower back. Now, the smart move here would probably to continue to work on that injured knee, would you not think?
Or the back. That was a big footprint in the middle of the back.
Well, and Michael Elgin only getting a 2 count there, but like a smart, I want to call him a veteran, he's back right on top of Kip,
You know Michael Elgin is only 23 years old?
Well, for 23 years old, Mike, he's very impressive. Look
He's
at that.
got an amazing career in front of him. He is really, really, really the sort of that mean guy. You know, I could compare him to a lot of veterans I've seen over the years, but this guy has got nothing but a promising future.
I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley, and right now I wouldn't want to be in Kip's shoes, except Kip retaliating with the knee, but you know that knee's going to give out on him if he keeps that up.
Oh,
vicious
you just
back
have
elbow.
to think if Kip had gone the other way, he would have tagged in John Cutler, and this match goes a different way.
Smart move now, hanging on to Kip's knee and making the tag. In comes Charlie Haas with a knee to the side of the shoulder, if you will. And only gets a 2 count out of it, but he's not satisfied. Goes for seconds.
I don't think that's ever worked where you pin the second time after the kick out and get it.
But he did hold both legs on that second
he went for leverage. You know what I really, really am amazed by with Charlie Haas is the amount of intimidation he tries to invoke.
Well, look at him. He's just talking. He's just talking jack to him.
Yeah,
he's
I just heard him say,
him.
you know, Kip, you're nothing. You're a has-been. I even heard him say the words, "I'll kill you," which, well, you know, you never want to be threatening people that way, but for Charlie Haas, he makes it work.
Hey, it shows the level of intensity that Haas has.
Wow. Oh.
You could hear that across the WFX arena, folks. And like you mentioned on previous episodes, you got to find out who's a dentist for this crew, man. He must be making a fortune.
Both men are out of gas. Both men are hurt. Both men need to make a tag.
I think that right now Kip is a little worse for wear. Charlie Haas is being encouraged by Michael Elgin to get to that corner. Kip doesn't know where he is, Mike, but he's got to make that tag.
You know, and this is amazing because both men have such amazing tag team backgrounds. Charlie Haas and Kip, they know how to make the tag. There's Michael Elgin. There's John Cutler, and wow!
Cutler in as a house of fire with a second clothesline and a third. 2 on Elgin and 1 on Haas. And he's just going crazy. Wow, what a backdrop.
That was one big backdrop, that's for sure.
Cutler with a shot to the face. And
Kelly Russell is not asserting himself because those are close fists to the face.
On a power slam and goes for the pin, but broken up by Charlie Haas.
If Charlie Haas hadn't broken that up, trust me, that was a 3 count.
Well, Kip finding a way to get back on his feet, and now he's after Haas.
Pandemonium is broken out here.
Look at those shots. Oh, just measuring Charlie Haas with a right hand.
This is brutality. This
is personal, Mike. Look at him.
Look at him going right after the eye.
Elgin with the hook. That's right. A handful of trunks is right, Mike. He got him. They stole a victory.
Your winners, Charlie Haas.
I am disgusted. Well, you know what? It exposes something major here.
Yeah, it exposed the backside of John Cutler because he had the trunks, Mike.
That is not what I'm saying, but John Cutler got had. John Cutler got exposed by not being able to run with Michael Elgin and Charlie Haas. That is what I'm saying.
Well, Kip obviously trying to figure out exactly what happened to his tag team partner.
Because Kip was outside with the upper hand on Charlie Haas. He probably saw that Charlie Haas, or that Michael Elgin had a handful of trunks. But for Cutler, this is not the showing Cutler needed here on this stage.
Well, it looks like Cutler was trying to tell referee Kelly Russell that he had a handful of trunks, did Elgin the advantage. But unfortunately, you know, now looks like Kelly Russell's asking
I don't think that'll
crowd.
matter. You know, Kelly Russell had to see it. He didn't. There's no instant replay in professional wrestling.
Oh, the referee's decision is final in this situation.
And all that John Cutler looks like, honestly, is a bellyacher. That's all he looks like.
Well, you got to admit, though, Elgin, you know, using an illegal advantage.
And Kip looks upset.
Cutler saying he's sorry to Kip, but you know what?
You know what? I thought Kip might slap John Cutler.
Come on,
honestly.
now come on.
I didn't know.
Now the sportsmanship that Kip has, and he knows the potential abilities that John Cutler showed, and has abilities beyond what he showed tonight. He knows that Cutler's a star making it happen.
That's patience.
Cutler is a star waiting to happen.
He may have to wait a little longer after tonight's performance because, in my opinion, it was John Cutler who dropped the ball.
Well, you know what? The victory went to Haas and Elgin. Doesn't matter how they got it.
For all your merchandise needs, check out WFXWrestling.com. You can get t-shirts, you can get hats, you can get pictures, you can get tickets. Check out WFXWrestling.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to WFX Overload. This is the CashGoodPointsBad.com main event.
And Moosey there really upstaged you with that.
Well, he's letting everybody know that it's.
I think Moosey and.
Introducing first, from the other side of darkness, the Brothers of Darkness, weighing in at a combined 585 pounds. Welcome, Gangrel and Thorn.
You know, I'm going to say something right now. I don't think anyone wants to welcome these guys.
These guys just creep me out, Mike.
You know, it all goes back to weeks ago. Thorn and the way he obsessed over Danny Duggan, and he kind of.
Hey, we still don't even know where Danny Duggan is.
I know, because it was a really compulsive need on Thorn's part to. He latched onto him, and then he tried to be his friend and tried to be there with him, and then like, what in the world?
And you see some fans here with the crosses. I don't know if
that's just to keep these two guys away from them, because
you know, WFX management should be handing out the garlic before the matches. Give the fans in the first few rows,
I do smell some garlic, and it's on Moosey's breath.
Well, stand back, because he's about to announce their opponents.
It's homicide. Madison. Suicide. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Hart.
Well, I think Moosey might have had some miscommunication.
Moosey and
the
Kenny Rogers have been going to the same bartender.
Now, come on now.
What? I'm telling you. You see the look when he looked over and saw Bob Holly coming down the ring?
Well,
and
obviously he was reading the wrong cue card, because as we know, this is Bob Holly.
And Bob looks frustrated by this whole thing. You can tell by the look on his face. He just looked over at the ring announcer like he was going to kill him.
Well, Bob Holly, no stranger to hardcore, and you could say that this kind of match coming up is pretty much anything goes, especially with whoever we're about to see now is Bob Holly's tag team partner.
Welcome, Sabu!
And he has arrived for his first in-ring contest in WFX. Sabu and Bob Holly. Now let me say something here. Gangrel and Thorn, the Brotherhood, have run amok. Nobody's wanted to run with them, and when they did, Danny Duggan has gone missing. But Sabu and Bob Holly are tenacious enough to take the fight to the Brotherhood.
Well, Sabu, no stranger to anything goes, if you will, which is exactly what this match is going to be. You've got 4 combatants in here who don't really care what happens to their bodies.
And one referee who's under the influence of liquid courage.
Now, come on. Mike, I'm telling you, you have no proof of this, no evidence.
You know what? I do believe WFX will investigate the conduct of Kenny Rogers. And I do believe... I think they're going to make him... Look at that. He's staggering.
He was shoved by Gangrel. Come on.
I did not see him get shoved.
Well, nonetheless, this is going to be a contest. Sabu, no stranger to anything goes. Bob Holly as well, same thing. Thorn and Gangrel. These guys don't care what happens to themselves,
and it was a cheap shot.
Results in a victory.
It was a cheap shot for Kevin Thorn here to get the upper hand on Bob Holly. He sort of kicked him at the knee, something I would do if I was in a nightclub brawl. I've been there once or twice. And look at that, Sabu has already grabbed the chair.
Well, hey, he knows it's what's going to be needed in this match.
Every week, this Brotherhood just becomes more. There's been some cracks in the foundation.
Well, where is APOC? Obviously his absence. Once again, we talked about this. The Brotherhood feel he's not important enough to be outside?
Well, they left him behind after he lost to John Cutler, a short time ago, last week, in fact. And now, oh my.
Wow, Holly laying in the shots. This match, a result of a few weeks ago, if you recall correctly, there was a challenge laid out, and then the Brotherhood, quite quickly, as soon as the challenge was made, decided to leave the building.
Those are big clubbing blows from Bob Holly.
Well, Thorn taking every advantage he could and bringing it back to the corner, to his own corner, I should say, and Gangrel now helping out as he can. And there really, I guess you could say there's almost no rules in this kind of contest.
And that's a good thing for the lush referee, Kenny Rogers. He doesn't have to remember what the protocol and rule book for WFX wrestling is.
Once again, folks, those comments made by Mike Davidson and do not represent WFX.
Sure they do. If he's drinking, he shouldn't be.
Well, we don't know that that's actually...
we do.
Holly retaliating.
I'm going to ask our editors in the truck to put together the Kenny Rogers Chronicle. Wow. Listen to this. These people. Whoa! Oh.
He missed the chair, but
he got Thorn.
Well, I think it was more of a glancing blow. Is Thorn not too thrilled with that?
You know what? Something about Sabu is his body has been beaten and broken the same way you hear about Terry Funk.
Oh, drop kick to the chair, nailed Gangrel.
But he can still. Uh-oh.
Classic Sabu setting up the chair.
Wow!
Gangrel down and going for the pinfall, and only a 2 count. Sabu, as you mentioned, Mike's body has been leg drop, double leg drop with a chair for added leverage.
You know,
his body has been beaten and
all
battered.
those guys that came from Paul E and ECW, their bodies are all broken, but they still command such legendary respect, and they still, when they're in front of a crowd, wow, and we go to the double feature, and they still, in front of that crowd, will do anything to win a match.
Well, Thorn using, looks like a camera cable to attack Sabu.
I thought it was bull rope.
Well, I'm not sure. Why would there be a bull rope outside the ring?
Who knows? With Kenny Rogers refereeing, who knows what he picked up at the local saloon.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
My God.
Chairs coming into play, guardrails coming to play. There is so much action.
I feel bad for security, camera personnel. I feel bad for anyone, even the fans behind that barricade. These guys, these are big, heavy men that are beating the heck out of each other.
Like you say, Sabu, taking the chair to the back. His body not only beaten and bruised and broken, but the tenacity still has the ability to come. Oh, man, you heard that across the arena.
And this is the CashGoodPointsBad.com double feature. Oh, and you see Kevin Thorn, you know, was getting in the ring, and he had the chair driven into his ribs.
Very smart baseball slide maneuver from Sabu. And now, chair to the face once again. These guys are relentless. There's nothing. They're pulling out all the stops. There's nothing they won't do to get the victory. Holly throwing Gangrel back in the ring on the right side of your screen.
My biggest criticism to WFX management is you look at how little space between the barricade and the ring. That's a safety issue. Ow!
That's not the first time Sabu's felt the chair to the back. But look at that, able to kick out after a 2 count.
Kenny Rogers is down on his back, you know, because he's been drinking.
You know, Mike, I really think we need to have a serious talk to you about this. This is not appropriate.
Yeah, well, hey, the referee shouldn't drink before matches. We should have a serious sit-down with Kenny Rogers and his agent. You know, he's probably got a rider. That's probably what it is. A couple cases of beer in his locker room.
Wow. Mike Davidson coming up with whatever he can to make this show interesting, folks. And you can see Gangrel with a handful of face. And Thorn just, you know, kicking the wide open Sabu.
Ow!
Blatant chokehold.
Rogers doesn't care. There's no vodka in it for him.
Everything kind of goes here, as far as I was under the impression.
Mike. Oh. You know, I find it hard not to have sympathy for Sabu because this is a man that's put his body on the line for like 20 years.
He's definitely a veteran of anything.
But he did introduce the chair.
Well, he did. Oh, no.
No.
And this is not looking good for Sabu. Oh, side of the head.
Kevin Thorn is a very heavy individual, and that
came down with all of his weight.
Force trauma.
Yeah. Giving Holly there a shot for good measure, but Holly won't have any of that. Holly comes into the ring and but cut off quickly by a chair to the gut and then to the back of the head. Now what is Thorn doing here? Setting the chair up in the corner. Gangrel having a couple of words with the fans. It's been a lot of back and forth, but the advantage right now is going to the Brotherhood.
And you see Sabu is really trying to shake off those cobwebs. He's a little bit
Sabu's about to get a few more. No. Oh! He caught Thorn with I would say almost a tornado DDT.
That's what it was, Dave Thomas. It was a tornado DDT.
He loosened the chair in the process, and Holly picked it up. And now Holly returns the favor to Thorn as what he did to Sabu earlier.
Dentist is going to have to realign those fangs in Thorn.
Sabu now makes a tag to Holly, and Gangrel comes in as well and is met with a shot to the face twice now, and a third for good measure. Holly sends him across. Wow. That's a big man to take off his feet, and Holly had no trouble doing it.
Wow!
Holly with a slam, and only a 2 count. You know, it's at this point, Mike, where if somebody doesn't do something outlandishly huge, this match could go on forever. These guys don't care. Oh! Soprano shot, if you will. Thorn now coming in.
Oh!
Man, Sabu broke that up real quick.
The amount of brutality that they've put themselves through in this match. Oh!
Man, you can hear those across the room. Wow. Oh, geez. These guys are taking it to the limit, you know. Wait a minute. What's going on here? APOC is coming in the ring for what? He got nailed with a clothesline.
Well, he saw that Bob Holly had the Alabama slam all set up on Gangrel, and Thorn APOC rather wants to save his man. He needs to redeem himself after last week when Thorn and Gangrel wanted no part of APOC after he lost a big match to John Cutler, and there you see again.
Well, now they're leaving him behind, Mike.
Well, I don't know if they're leaving him behind. They're just catching up. Uh-oh.
Holly's got APOC.
Kenny Rogers can't tell because he's got long, dark hair.
Oh! Chair, Mike! If that's not it, I don't know what is.
The wrong guy's being pinned, but Kenny Rogers can't tell because he's got long, dark hair. Kenny Rogers has mistaken APOC for Thorn, clearly, because he's been drinking, I might add.
Well, for some reason, Kenny Rogers allowed this to happen.
Anything went in this match, anything you could imagine.
Well, why not just pull somebody out of the crowd and pin him for crying out loud then?
That's the 24/7 rule sometimes.
The 24/7 rule?
Yeah, you can pin anybody you want, be a champion.
Oh, I thought you were going to make some joke about a 24-pack 7 days a week.
That's Kenny Rogers' motto.
Yeah, I guess so.
Actually, it's a 40-ouncer three times a day.
Well, APAC coming out of nowhere, and Kenny Rogers allowing it now. Maybe because he's part of the Brotherhood, he's decided to allow this to go. But
look at Kenny standing over his drinking buddy, trying to protect him at all costs.
Well, according to you, everybody is Kenny Rogers drinking.
I know. Anyone that has a drink for Kenny is his buddy.
You can find out more information, of course, on our website.
But before we go there, let's talk about this. Sabu and Bob Holly, what a night we saw here in the CashGoodPointsBad.com main event. And I got to tell you something. For APOC, the Brotherhood has cracks in the seam. Well, I don't think APOC can survive in that trio any longer.
You're definitely right, Mike. And nonetheless, it sounds as though APOC is the weak link, if you will. But your winners of the CashGoodPointsBad.com main event are Sabu and Bob Holly.
And I think APOC has a concussion because he hit that chair. Check out WFXWrestling.com. Thank you for watching yet another great episode of WFX Overload. And you got to hope that APOC is okay. You know, I don't like him because he's a part of that Brotherhood. But, man, he hit his head hard.
We'll see you next week, everybody. So long from ringside.